Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast.
It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You've got a for a breath. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of Outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again, it's Wing Nation, talking sprint cars, our favorite time of the week. We are so glad that you have joined us. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post here in our Concord, North Carolina studios. And Erin, World Finals did not disappoint.
They did not. The weather was fantastic. The racing was awesome. It was a great weekend.
Great weekend indeed, and it was the crowning of the champ for the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars for the second consecutive season, and he joins us via Zoom call, David Gravel. Congratulations, David. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. Good seeing you in Charlotte.
Yeah, it was great catching up with you, seeing you in person. That's for sure. We travel such different lives and circles, and it's nice to see faces and actual people. It really truly is. David, what's the sense like? I mean, I know mathematically you were in really good shape, but what's the relief factor when that math finally clicks over and you know that it's official and there's nothing going to happen to it now?
Yeah, definitely a great feeling. You know, it's something that's really hard to do in today's style of racing. And you've seen what happened with High Limit this year, and then just kind of the history of the World of Outlaws of, you know, there hasn't been anybody to win by triple digits in a long time. So definitely a great and accomplishing feeling, and just took the pressure off on the weekend, even though we had a lot of confidence going into Charlotte. It's just a good feeling to know no matter what happens, we're going to be in good shape and try to get some wins.
David, the Banquet is following right after World Finals. How nice was it to be here in Charlotte with the family and friends and your team and just to celebrate and not have to wait in between any?
Yeah, you know, definitely nice. That's why I love going to Charlotte. You know, the season's over. You know, the Banquet is the next day. And then, you know, you're going to get that check, that points fund money check, which is also nice. So I got to give hats off to the World Racing Group. They had a huge upgrade, in my opinion, with the venue this year, and loved it. It was a real nice spot in downtown Charlotte, and had a great time, and yeah, had a little fun too.
Yeah, the place is called the Rivalry, and man, I'll tell you what, I'd never been there before. It was nice. It was just really, really nice. And really fun, and kudos to the World Racing Group. They did both banquets simultaneously. The ones I used to go to, they used to like split the room and put dividers up and do one and the other, and they did it, and it was really, really well done as far as the event goes. That's for sure. Really, really cool stuff, no doubt about it. So now the gold chain that you had on social media, that wasn't yours. You didn't spend the point fund check on that.
It would have cost more than that, but for my dad's 60th, we went to the Bahamas the 4th of July week, and that big Cuban with all those diamonds were in there. So I figured I'd put it on as a joke. You know, the Queering family is big Minnesota Vikings fans, and Justin Jefferson, the receiver, he's always wearing those big chains. So I thought it'd be cool to put it on. It weighs your neck down. I don't know how those guys do it with all that bling on their neck, but I think that's like a $250,000 chain right there, and I do not own it.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's talk about the season overall. We talked with you on the stage here in Charlotte, but average finish of 4th. That's pretty impressive. It's honestly amazing. It made a ton of dashes. Your average finish was, or average starting spot was a 4th, 5th area. Just talk about the season. It was so consistent.
Yeah, you know, just super proud of the body of work we put together. Qualifying, I think we were in the 3 to 4 range as well, like maybe just under 4 or something like that, which is just ridiculous on a consistent basis. And it is hard to do that. All these different racetracks you go to, no matter who you are, your confidence or your equipment or what pill you draw, it is just hard to do. Sometimes the odds are stacked against you and you go out last and the track slows way down, right? And it just odd your power. But I felt like no matter the situation, we made the best of it and we put ourselves on the front row. I don't even know the real stat because I need to look it up of how many times we didn't start in the front row. But I think in like 67 or 68 races, I think it was like 3 times or 4 times all year we didn't start in the front row of the heat race. So that just is an unbelievable stat. And how this format is, everybody wants to qualify good, but everybody doesn't. And that's what everybody's striving for. And thankfully, we figured that out, how to do that on an extremely consistent basis.
Yeah, diving a little more into that, 31 quick times. David, when you mentioned it, a track it could fall off really quick, or there can be the opposite where a track could be really like wet and kind of come in as qualifying goes on. Is that something that you actually make a lot of adjustments on? I mean, obviously you do, but you guys have somehow figured out how to, no matter where you go out, to time pretty quickly.
Yeah, I strive myself as a driver to pay attention to the best of my ability on Dirt Vision on my phone and watching every single lap. And even if we're the 10th car out, watching those first couple guys to confirm where I want to be on the racetrack and kind of have a game plan going out there and not guessing or winging it. So I think that's a big thing. Cody Jacobs has just provided a car with a lot of grip in qualifying, and I could go and find maybe a different lane, or a lot of people just got to run the top all the way around. But I have the confidence to, man, I felt like the bottom was pretty good in 3 and 4 in hot laps. Like, I'm going to try my second lap down there. And I felt like a lot of times we found some different lanes in qualifying to get us quick times this year. And yeah, it just takes a full team effort. You could have the best running engines, and if your car's out of the racetrack, it doesn't matter. Or if the driver goes out there and botches their lap qualifying, they can mess up a perfect race car as well. So it literally takes every aspect of it. And that's why it's so accomplishing for us as a team, and making us very proud.
David, you mentioned watching Dirt Vision during the course of that qualifying session. How much do you study historical stuff? Do you look at, this racetrack historically does this racetrack does that? Do you go back and look at things? How much do you do that?
Yeah, I used to watch a lot of Dirt Vision stuff like that, but I go back and watch the highlight videos of the, closest previous races to those tracks. But, the World of Outlaws schedule is fairly repetitive. So, we've been going to Cedar Lake and obviously Knoxville and Williams Grove and Wheatsport and Volusia and, Wilmot, right? You go to all these tracks every year and sometimes multiple times. You kind of understand the characteristics of it. But these racetrack change year to year. There was years ago where Williams Grove, it was a death sentence to go out late in qualifying. And now I feel like it doesn't really matter when you go out at Williams Grove. They seem to have the track a little bit wetter, more grip down the racetrack. And, it seems like you could go out at any time. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a tool to me. If you're struggling qualifying or you're trying to look for everything, I think guys are going back and watching every single lap of the previous event of qualifying. But yeah, just the longer you do, I say a little bit easier it gets. But again, just the repetition of the schedule. We've been to a lot of these places a lot of times, and I've been on the tour for 10 plus years now. So definitely, I feel like experience is a big part of it.
David, it caught my attention when you said that you watch Dirt Vision. Like, if you're going out 10th, you watch the first 10 cars. That's pretty fascinating. It's one of the million reasons we love Dirt Vision, right? But like, do you have like an iPad or a phone? Is there something? It makes me think of like Cup cars or F1 cars where sometimes you stop and they're throwing an iPad in the car. I never thought about that, but the advantage for you don't have to rely on a crew guy telling you where the guys are running or having to run up to the track to look at it. Is that something you guys do?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of time it's just my phone or my crew guy's phone, and we all have Starlinks at our trailers, so when we're close to the trailer, we get for sure service. But there's some places that are dead zones and you have no service, and maybe AT&T works better than T-Mobile or Verizon, and you're just using whoever's device has service. And when you go to these big events, it seems like these cell phones don't work very good when there's 10 plus thousand people there. So yeah, it's definitely something we do. We don't have like a designated iPad, but usually just use our cell phones to make it work and happen. And 90% of the time it works out good.
David, beyond a quick start to the night, when I look at your season, the first 14 races, you had 5 wins and 14 top 5 finishes. It wasn't until Peevely in April that you finished outside of the top 5. You finished 6th that night. How important is that? And a lot of it is Volusia, but how important is it to get off to a quick start like you did this season?
Yeah, it's very important. And I believe we had quite a bit of podiums in there too. I know at least 2 seconds in those 14 starts, that weren't wins. So Yeah, it's very, very important. Buddy had a little bit of a slow start. The 41 had an okay start, I believe. But yeah, it's just you never want to start off slow, or if it takes 15 or 20 races to get your first win, it feels like forever. And to accomplish that first victory at Volusia is definitely a confidence booster. And it just seemed like there when we left Florida, we were just as good everywhere and was in contention to win and swept the Cotton Bowl weekend. And I remember finishing second to Geo at one of those tracks. So yeah, just it's a huge thing. And we just, carried that momentum the rest of the season.
David, winning the second championship in back to back, how important was that for you? Obviously, I'm sure you want to win 10 more, if not more. But as a driver, you win one, it's a huge accomplishment. But to be able to come back and validate it and win another one, how important was that for you and your team?
Yeah, very important. You're expected to win, right? When you're the champion, they're like, all right, you got to win, right? Because Carson Macedo's never done it. Buddy Kofoid's never done it. Donnie is, they say are declining and the Fords aren't fitting him right. So Logan Schuchart, he is capable, I feel like, of doing it. But how is he going to do with his crew chief this year? So um, I put my nobody puts more pressure on than myself, right? Todd doesn't put any extra pressure on winning the championship. But I feel like as us and our team on the road, Cody and Zach and Pete, we put a lot of pressure to stay on top. But definitely a great accomplishment. I wouldn't say it's a calming feeling winning it the year before, but you've done it. And I think it just gives you confidence. And I guess you've done it so you know what to do. And we're just trying to, take every night as a new night. And if we had a bad one, put that behind us and hopefully get on the podium the next. And I felt like whenever we had a bad run or a part failure, that we were able to respond right away.
David, we asked you this on the stage show, but I certainly want to do it again as we've got a totally different audience here. And I'm going to throw another one into you. Your back-to-back championships, you've joined Steve Kinzer, Sammy Swindell, Donnie Schatz, Jason Myers, Brad Sweet, and now you as the only drivers to get back-to-back. Your win on Friday night was win 120, and you are two shy of Danny Lasowski for sixth on the all-time list. Does that even seem possible? What does that seem like to you as still a young man?
Yeah, pretty amazing, going back and looking at it. And I feel like I remember when I won my 50th race, and then now we're, over double that, which is just crazy to me. 120 is cool. I believe that win got us 40 podiums on the season, which was a very cool number that hasn't been done in a long time since Donnie did in his record years. So, yeah, very, very cool. And hopefully soon, early in the season, we could tie or pass Daniel Lasowski, and then the guy after that, and to get in the top five is pretty amazing. So Doug Wolfgang. So yeah, it's awesome. Definitely very humbling. And yeah, I'm 33 years old. I'm not going to do it as long as Steve or Sammy or even Donnie, I don't think. So I respect the body of work all those guys put in. But yeah, I definitely got a lot of good years left.
Just for the record, if you get to Doug Wolfgang next year, that's a 20-win season because he's at 140. So you've got a little work to do to get to Doug Wolfgang, but Danny Lasowski, too ahead of you, is certainly in range. So,
well, 18 wins this season. I think 20 is manageable
close.
Next year. David, I want to talk big picture. We talk about the two national series. Obviously it was their second year. They've got some momentum. Just the state of the sport, how you feel about it all. How enjoyable those races are when you guys all do get to run together. Just like to get your thoughts on kind of all of that.
Yeah, it's an interesting time to be a race fan, to be a race team owner, to be a driver. Now there is multiple options on what you want to do in a season and still make a great living. Before it was the pick and choose, or you race the World of Outlaws, or you ran the All-Stars and you got to race 30 Outlaw shows still. Now, there's two competing national series that both have their own six-figure payday events. And it's exciting. I wish I was Dason Pursley's age or Emerson Axsom's age, because I think the future is looking good as well. But there's also repercussions to it all. I feel like the attendance at a lot of racetracks are hurting, like that Bobby Allen week when he passed away at Lincoln. It wasn't a great, showing there, which was surprising. You see the turnout at Lucas Oil for the high limit guys at the end of the year wasn't good. I heard Texas was very good on Saturday, but Friday wasn't great. So, there's lots of events that we have that attendance is down from previous years. So I think the business model is going to change. I feel like our trajectory is going up, but I think it could only go so high because I think we're going to be relying on the streaming money way more than we ever have than ticket sales, where I feel like the business side ticket sales was the driving factor, and now streaming has just kind of trumped that. So yeah, for me, everybody wants to see the best of the best race at the same time. So there's never more hype than the Kings Royal week, never more hype than the Knoxville Nationals week, never more hype than the start at Volusia, because I feel like a lot of the high limit guys come and join us. So I wish that every team, every big team could go to every big event. To me, it's a shame that the West Coast has 100,000 to win at Chico and has 126,000 win at Skagit, and some of the best teams in the country can't go there. And I feel like that's a dissurgence for the fans because that's what they want to see, and I want to see that as well. And even if the stars align. I don't know if the World of Outlaws want us to going to all these high limit races, but in my opinion, that's what the world wants to see. And just imagine if we had, Buddy, me, Carson, Sheldon, Logan, Donnie at all those big events out there. I just think it would be massive. So I'm obviously have my heart set with the World of Outlaws, but we're just going to continue to see what transpires for the rest of the next couple years because I think things will continue to change and look at the high limit schedule change a lot this coming year in between last year. They're trying to find their way and the Outlaws have a strong tie with Williams Grove and Volusia, Knoxville and Huset's. And we're building that Oshweekon event and Weedsport and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting. I'm all for competition and I think it's raised the bar. But I just think things are going to change over the next couple of years.
David, I started this whole high limit World of Outlaw thing thinking we need one tour World of Outlaws. Okay. And I certainly see, especially with the volume of teams out there now, I don't know that one series can do all of it. I think that the two series serves it well. And I felt like for a year and a half, this thing was very us versus them. But what really struck out to me is your Victory Lane interview, Rico's Victory Lane interview, your second place interview. It almost seems like that the divided sport seems to be thinning out a little bit. And it's like, where does this settle in? Is that an accurate statement, do you see, or is it still pretty hardcore feelings one against the other?
I think there's definitely feelings for sure. Like you want the World of Outlaws to beat the high limit guys
Sure.
when they're together. And, everybody talks about who's better, who's this. Rico's dethroned Brad, so he's better than me and all these things. So as a competitor, as a alpha male, you want to try to be the best that night. You know what I mean? No matter who's there, but especially when that opposing series is trying to take thunder away from the series that you put your whole career in, you want to stand your ground. So I think that was an awesome storyline for, Rico to win night one, me run second, and then me steal one from him night two and him run second. And, I wish I won Saturday, but at least Buddy got the job done Saturday. But I just feel like that's what everybody wants to see, right? Who's the best? Who's the best right now? And I feel like that's the biggest storyline, and that will gets the most buzz. And I think that's what makes our sport the most exciting than it's ever been in a long time.
David, you talk about a little back and forth and rivalry. You had a little incident with Kyle Larson earlier this year at Eldora, and it kind of blew up on social media. What was that like? I mean, I followed obviously along with a bit of it and felt like he obviously has a huge group behind him. So it felt like a little one-sided. But what was that like for you to be a part of that?
Yeah, he's the most popular driver in the United States of America, hands down.
Yeah.
Has dabbled in about every form of short track racing that you can. So, Kyle's a friend and, it got a little personal there and people, go back and reflect like, oh, he didn't do anything dirtier than he did to me at Eldora, which there was way more to that. And it just wasn't one corner or one move on the final lap at that race. And it was building up and building up. And, yeah, just kind of had enough of it and wanted to let him know where I stood. And we had a good conversation after the races in the World of Outlaw Hauler, and um, it's just part of it, right? There's things that people say over the course of a season that maybe tick people off, and they kind of had a little bit of a vendetta against us. And yeah, I kind of just had enough of it, and it's all good, right? I feel like me and Kyle are good. We've talked a few times since then, and yeah, just part of the rivalry, right? I think Kyle Larson's goal is to promote flow racing and promote the high limit as best he can. So he's going to want to try to beat the World of Outlaw guys even more than he ever has. He wants to make sure that his series and his streaming platform looks better than Dirt Vision or the World of Outlaws. So I know what he's doing. It's a big marketing thing. Flow Sports is a big partner of Kyle Larson in his life. So I get it, but I'm not going to back down to Kyle Larson, Rico Abreu, Brad Sweet. Like, I'm David Gravel, and I'm going to stand my place.
And we understand, and you stated it perfectly. He's the most popular driver in the country. There's no doubt about it. But I am fairly confident you had a fair number of people rally around you. What was that like to have the gravel fans rally around you as well?
Yeah, it's cool. Definitely a lot of people support. I feel like it's not cool to say something bad about Kyle Larson, so a lot of people don't do it, right? Like
Right.
that's
Yeah.
kind of society we live in, but it's way easier to talk crap about David Gravel, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's a lot cooler that way. So social media is brutal with the trolls, but I think we gained about like 25,000 followers on Facebook this year, which is pretty good. And kind of record numbers for viewership and impressions and all that. So it's all in good fun. And that's why we post the chains, and that's why we post the controversial videos. And again, I'm not going to back down. I am who I am. Todd kind of gives me freedom, and I feel like I don't say anything too stupid. So he hasn't yelled at me yet.
That's
There we go.
awesome.
And chocolate milk. So we've got that as well.
Yes. Yeah. Speaking of Todd, I want to talk a little bit about the team. You've been together for, I think you told us 5 or so years now. What has that been like? Obviously, Cody is an incredible crew chief, but just to have that consistency and obviously your results are showing it.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Todd just provides us with all the tools that we need to go out and be successful. And Cody's, with us 5 years, me and him 5 years on the World of Outlaw Tour. He grew, after the first 2 years, I felt like he really grew as a crew chief, and we're continuing to grow and just kind of keeping the same crew guys around us. But Todd's kind of put a lot of the team in Taylor's hands, his son, and I feel like Taylor's done a good job, has a more intimate connection with the team because he's around a lot more and talks with us a lot more. So I feel like it's been a good transition, and obviously moving into the new shop has got Cody re-energized and really loves doing all the projects in the shop. And yeah, it's been really, really good. I feel like our off seasons get easier as the more we do it, and I feel like we're very prepared already for next year.
We talk a lot. We've talked about Todd. We've talked about Cody a lot, and Pete and Zach. And you've talked about your crew guys. There's another group though that you have with you, David, and you referenced at least one of them during the banquet. You have a social media team and social media person that goes around, and how challenging is that to integrate that into the race team and making sure you have the right person to spend that amount of time with?
Yeah, that's a tough balance, and I wish I could do more. I don't have anybody that comes to every single event, but I feel like at all the big events we do a really good job. But it's tough and it's expensive to do things. But I have Carter, and then I have a kid back home named Dan. He helped us out some this year, and when Carter couldn't be around, and he Carter juggles a lot of different things in his life, and he's got a lot of different jobs. So yeah, I feel like we try to be as active as possible. But man, would I love to have somebody at every event, because I think we could break even more barriers into what we do. And kind of like what Rico did with Toby this year. He was at every single event and was able to get a lot of cool content consistently. So Dirt Vision helps quite a bit by giving us photos and videos over the course of the year. But it's a lot of work, and it's that fine line of getting too personal or separating that and how much you want to see or don't see, or how much you want to show or not show. So it's something we're constantly learning, but it's been a lot of fun, and I feel like it's really helped my popularity.
David, another part of your support system is your family. I've known them for a long time, and they're probably one of the more present families on social media. You guys are very tight knit. They're at a lot of your races. They help you a lot. What is it like to share these championships and experiences with all of them?
Yeah, for sure. Jill and my mom are definitely very active on social media. They don't like a lot of people talking smack, so they're
I did
responding to
notice that.
like it's going to change their minds of what they think about me. But yeah, they're very emotional people, and obviously they love me to the highest regard. And yeah, just have a super supportive family. My whole family eats, sleeps, and breeds racing. And Jill's got her little career going on, and we got Levi now too. So yeah, we definitely have a great family. I'm very, very blessed to have a lot of support behind me, and when things are good and bad. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
How has the traveling life and maybe getting back home a little bit more evolved as Levi gets older? How has that changed? When they're an infant, they're one thing, but when they've got this bubbling big personality, they're another thing. How is that, and will continue to move? How has that changed?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's changing all the time. We're trying to figure it out either with childcare or family members, or Jill works more or less. And, we have another one coming in January. So whatever plan we have this year is going to change next year. But Jill will be off working for a while, obviously, raising a baby girl here soon. And yeah, we tried like a little bit of a daycare thing here back home. And I don't know. I might rent a motorhome for the summer. We might go as a whole family and just do like a June, July, August, and just try that out since we race so much. But I don't know. I don't think there's a perfect answer. There's sacrifices on every end of it that you look at. So we're learning as parents. We're definitely not perfect, and we're trying to do the right things for our family and be present, but also, have a good future as well.
David, I noticed Levi's little fire suit at the racetrack this weekend, and then I saw he's got some dance moves, so he's definitely following in your footsteps.
Yeah, he could dance so sober where I can't, so I got to get a little back to dance a little. I think I'm dancing better, but he's a people person, man. He's interjected. He's not afraid. He wants to see Bobby Pierce now. He's a big late model guy, and he is not afraid. So he's definitely the life of the party, that's for sure.
He really truly is. Final question for you, David. Just the off season. What does that look like for you?
The off season, I'm gonna go to PRI show, partnering up with PRI and doing some stuff there, and gonna do some appearances there for Butler Built, and hopefully be on the paddock there, doing some interviews there. And then we host Thanksgiving, and we'll be home for Christmas and New Year's, and we're probably expecting the baby to come in between Christmas and New Year's if we had to guess. So we're gonna lay low, bring in this new baby, and be supercharged for next year at Volusia.
David, congratulations on the success. We always appreciate the time. You're such a gracious guest with time here in the studio or when we're at the racetrack. Thanks for the time. Congratulations, and enjoy a little downtime.
Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
2025 World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Champion David Gravel joining us here on Wing Nation. Stay with us. More in just a moment.
3, 2, 1, start your engine.
The NASCAR channel is streaming now, exclusively on Tubi. Go deeper into NASCAR with 24/7 news, documentaries, and explore the vault of timeless NASCAR stories and unforgettable races. From crushing defeats to the thrill of victory.
Go, baby!
The NASCAR channel, always on, always free. Only on Tubi.
Welcome back. It is Wing Nation, and how about that, David Gravel? What a champion! I still think back to Talladega Short Track when he won that first race in the number 89
89G.
car. 89G.
Yep.
Yeah,
I remember that. I raced with him a bit back
what
then.
an amazing career he has carved out.
Yeah, and to think he's only 33 years old.
Yeah, what amazing a champion he's been too. He represents the sport
Very
so
well.
He really does.
Yep.
He does a nice job with all
social
aspects
media,
of it.
family, team, humble, all of it.
Yep, absolutely. Fun stuff. World Finals. I love what we had this weekend at the World Finals. We referenced it just a little bit. Opening night, Rico Abreu came in and stole all the thunder. Night number 2, David came in and stole it from Rico. And Rico had a good night. He finished second on Saturday night. David was leading the race and got into the fence, and Buddy Koford said, I'll take the $25,000 on Saturday night. Buddy Koford. Those, by the way, are the top 3 drivers in sprint car ratings, 2025 driver ratings. So not a shocker that they scored on the big stage of the World Finals.
No, but it was a great weekend. And, the rivalry, as much as we love it, don't love it, it's something interesting. It's something that catches your eye too.
I just sensed it is now, it's not as vitriol, not as there are some circles where, and there's some, when we talk about rivalries, the high limit World of Outlaw rivalry, wish it could be as energetic as the Pennsylvania Posse World of Outlaw rivalry. We all get that. And the rivalry is really, really good. It's sometimes when it gets a little over the top is where it gets bad, but I didn't see nearly as much of that at this point.
I think like we talked about it over the weekend, we had a lot of late model drivers on our show, and it was kind of refreshing to see how respectful they are with each series. It kind of gave me more hope going forward with sprint cars.
Absolutely. I was reading some late model stuff, and they're just raving about World Finals and the sprint cars. Yeah. It's crazy. It really, truly is. Rico Abreu, first, second, and second. A lot of new teams, new combinations. The one who fared the best was Spencer Baston, the second Stenhouse Jr. Marshall car. Spencer will be driving that next year. 2 top 5s and a 13th place finish. Spencer Baston looked good in that car.
He sure did. I was an impressive, I felt like his season was kind of up and down. So it was nice to see him get some good runs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when he was in the 14 car all year long, it was like, Yeah. And then he got in the 57 car out west. It was and here he is. He looks like he's more of the not the if that makes sense.
Yeah, it actually makes a lot of sense.
It does make sense. Exactly. Yes, I'm in radio. I communicate with
postman speak. For
exactly. Yeah. Yes, grunting and groaning. Exactly.
I got it.
Absolutely. Corey Day had a pair of top 5s, and I will tell you the best thing I saw all weekend long was Friday night when that number 15 car was rolling through the middle. There was one, Donnie Schatz. Yeah. There was one restart where Rico and David kind of got a little bungled up, and I just about came out of my chair thinking we are going to see 2018 Donnie Schatz on display, and then we're going to watch this place be bolt by bolt, plank by plank, tore apart with Donnie Schatz winning. It was good to see, and we saw an emboldened Donnie Schatz this weekend. That is a determined race car driver.
Yes. And when we had him on our live show on the stage, it was so nice coming off that podium finish. He was just in a great mood. And I love how open he's gotten. I mean, even talking about his night at the Hoffman household.
They had another one. He was in a dirt modified, one of the UMP style modifieds, apparently Saturday night overnight.
Oh, boy.
Apparently the party didn't end with him sleeping on the couch under a St. Louis Blues blanket. Apparently there was another night of festivities up at Nick's place.
Call me surprised.
Yes. So fun stuff. Really, really enjoy it. I'm so excited about Donnie Schatz. We're not done racing, Erin.
Nope.
ASC National Tour Fuzzy's Fall Fling this weekend. And that's in a nod of the cap to Fuzzy Hahn, Emmett Hahn's wife, who has passed. I love that they call the season championship Fuzzy's Final Flight.
I do too. The 10,000 to win that night. Then we go over to BAPS. They've got the sprint car showdown this Saturday, 10,000 to win.
That is apparently the final 410 race of the year on the North American continent. And then there's this thing called the Desert Wing Sprint Car Series. They're racing in Vado, New Mexico. They have a $10,000 to win. They have Friday and Saturday night racing. They have $10,000 to win. So fun stuff. We're going to continue on our social media channels as well. And we're going to drop a second show this week. Brian Carter is going to join us. We're just going to be totally honest with you. He's going to arrive here in about 25 minutes, and we're just going to record a second show. So you can watch David, and then you can watch our annual sit down with the CEO of the World Racing Group, Brian Carter. So always a fun week to kind of get this wrapped up. It's a sad week, but a fun week as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. So we do appreciate David Gravel for joining us. She is Erin Evernham. I'm Steve Post. More important, though, than all of that, thank you for joining us here this time on Wing Nation.